Oh boy, has it been too long since we have been on podcast, but we are back. Finally, we got schedules to line up. We are all good. We have been exceedingly busy, and the past couple days have been an exceedingly busy 48 hours in the baseball realm because the MLB draft has happened. In fact, I think it's almost concluded up to this point. We're going to be talking about all the prospects that have been drafted to Cleveland with very short recaps of what the affiliates have done over the past 3 weeks and a very mixed bag of emotions. But have the past 3 weeks treated my co-host? That's Taven McCauley. I am Nate Bope. Thanks for joining us. 3 weeks. How's it been?
It's been good. Got a lot going on. You know, the car kind of
well, mine too.
kind of broke down, so we got that going. But yeah, it's exciting time. You know, you got the All-Star break, the Derby tonight, so we're gonna try to make this a quicker one. Try to get done by around 8 o'clock, so we're able to go watch that. We'll make some predictions later on in the show.
Oh, but, for sure.
Yeah, draft's been fun. I've been paying attention to it today. I mean, it started at 11 o'clock, and we're still not done.
If you don't follow it started at 11:30, and I think it's still going on.
Crazy.
And we do apologize for starting late. Go look at Prospects of the Land Instagram story. If you have not gotten on there, you want to, because we have just put every single draft pick on there, tagged them on Instagram, those of which we are able to, and you can go follow them. And we're going to get to know a little bit about the next wave of Guardians prospects. Statistically, hopefully we'll be able to talk to some of them in person once they get all settled down, because it is a stupidly quick turnaround when you go from the draft to getting your equipment, getting on a flight out to the complex, and then, of course, getting placed in your first professional assignment, whether that be staying in the complex or whether some of those guys making it to Lynchburg, even we saw with Bazana last year, getting to Lake County. So we're going to touch on all of that, but in order to make this a quick little show, we are going to do quick recaps of what the affiliates have done. We could probably spend 30 minutes on each affiliate. We're going to try to spend no more than 5. So before, normally what we do, if you're new to the podcast, is we go run through the past week, see what the affiliates are up to, grade them, and see what they can improve and do continue and move on and so forth. What we're going to do in this one is Taven is going to tell you their second half record, because we have not had a show since the second half started. So the first 3 weeks of the second half are finished. Taven's going to tell you where the team lies, but as usual, we are going to go bottom up. I'll give you some statistical analysis over the last 30 days. So this does extend into the first half a little bit, just the way that statistics are sorted on MILB.com. So it won't tell the full story, but I think it's going to tell most of it. Taven, let's start with the first half champion Lynchburg Hillcats. It's been an up and down start to the first half for pretty much every affiliate, but especially for Lynchburg.
Yeah, like you mentioned, I mean, once they lost Tommy Hawk, we knew things would kind of slow down while they find their footing. Their team's going to go over a lot of changes, but at the moment they sit at 9-12. They're 4th place in their division in that Carolina League. I mean, June 24th through the 29th. It's crazy that it's been that long since we've done a show, but that was their first series in that second half against Charleston. They split 3-3. Then July 1st through the 2nd, they take on Salem 3-3 again. You're like, all right, this team's kind of there. This past series, July 8th through the 13th against Hickory, they dropped all 5. So they're, really slowing down. But again, a team that won the first half kind of secured themselves with a playoff spot. Like we've mentioned, you don't want to slow down at all, but they got a little room to, kind of find themselves, especially with the draft.
Yeah, absolutely. I actually think that they won the other day. They might have won the Sunday game, so that would be one of 5. You could fact check me on that. I just thought I saw something not too long ago pop up on Instagram.
You might be right. I missed the game.
But to provide some statistical analysis, again, this is over the last 30 days, and these are how the teams are performing up to such. When you talk about Lynchburg, why did my split go away? There it goes. Again, as we've known Lynchburg to be, not a great home run hitting team, but Taven, you look across the board at the batting averages here, and they really are not that great over the past month of baseball. The team is striking out a lot, not drawing a lot of walks. You can really tell how much they miss the ability of Tommy Hawk. Luis Morejo, though, has continued to do good things, even though he is Not really putting bat to ball as much as we'd wanted to, just a 176 average. But Bennett Thompson is hitting really well. 345 is his batting average over the past month. He's 20 of 58, has slugged a homer, only 4 RBIs though. So even though the batting average is great, he's not driving in that many runs. Welbin Francisca is driving in runs, but the batting average is not great. However, you look at a guy that's kind of putting the whole package together right now, and that is Nick Mitchell. 17 of 79 is a 215 batting average. Obviously, that can be better, but 11 walks to only 10 strikeouts, 11 stolen bases, and has brought home 8 RBIs. Jose Perella has also done some really good things with the bat, 236 batting average. Alberto Mendez, 304 batting average there, and he's the only guy over the past month with an over 1 OPS, which is to be expected, kind of hard to do over the past month. But hitting-wise, it has just not been very favorable for the Hillcats, and I think really losing that Tommy Hawk type player. Maybe we'll see one of these hitters we drafted get up into Lynchburg to provide them some lift. But as far as the pitching side, big news, still no Jogly Garcia. That is the big takeaway from the pitching staff right now. We have still not seen him. We haven't seen him for over a month now, I do believe.
Yeah.
But contrary to the bats, there are a lot of pitchers that are pitching very well. Rafe Schlesinger has finally found his groove as a starter. Over the past month, a 1.14 whip, 17 strikeouts to only 5 walks. And honestly, a lot of these walk to strikeout ratios look pretty darn good for Hillcat pitching. Braylon Doty has a 2.95 ERA over 4 starts in the past month, 18 strikeouts, 6 walks. Sean Matson, who just got the call. We'll talk about that a little bit later. 18 strikeouts to 4 walks, had a .051 OPS, which is just simply flawless over 4 outings and 2 starts. He got the ball starting as we kind of figured he would. Logan McGuire, 7 innings, or I should say 7 games in the pen, 12 in the third, 18 strikeouts to only 2 walks. That's a .73 ERA. Connor Whitaker out of the pen 8 times, has been a stud. He's allowed nothing in 15 in the third over the past month, 12 strikeouts to only 4 walks. And I could keep going on and on and on. Yeah, Jervis Alfaro, Melquise Hernandez, they've kind of struggled. Luis Flores hasn't necessarily been his best, and a couple other guys do need to take it a step up. But overall, it's not the pitching staff that's letting them down. They just can't seem to find the bats right now.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, like you said, their biggest bat, a guy, Nick Mitchell, he just got the call. We'll talk about it in a little bit too.
Yep.
But he goes from Lynchburg to Lake County. So again, we've talked about it nonstop. Like, we knew there were going to be call-ups, and we've been seeing that. Matson, we've seen Nick Mitchell, just a ton of these guys from Lynchburg getting the call up. Unfortunately, a couple of releases that we'll get to too. So that team's already kind of shaping out how we kind of thought it would with the draft coming up. You got a lot of these new guys coming in, and I just think that's how this Lynchburg team is going to be down the stretch, and especially in the playoffs, is going to be that next man up mentality. And, just whoever's hot, I think, is going to play. I think that's how Jordan Smith's going to kind of play this team kind of down the stretch.
Yeah, absolutely. And especially with the draft and all the new pieces that potentially can come into this room, we all knew that this Lynchburg team was going to look very, very different after winning the first half. This is baseball, and this is the reality of playing in the minor leagues, especially as a postseason team. You got to find pieces that are going to fit in very, very quickly. On to Lake County. What have they done the past 3 weeks? Again, kind of an up and down mixed bag for them. Have they played West Michigan twice already?
Yeah, a lot of West Michigan.
Wow.
Not bad. Compared to the rest, they're 10 and 11. So where they were to where they are now, not that bad. It's 5th in their division though in the Midwest League. So
that's the problem.
A lot of talent. It's very close. I want to say they're a game or 2 back of almost everybody. So it's a really tight division. Started out not great. June 24th through the 29th against that first series against West Michigan. Went 1-5 on the road. Or I'm actually 1-5 sure where that was. One was on the road, but they took 1 out of 6 against West Michigan that first one. Not great. Then you get a big rebound series against Dayton, July 1st through the 6th. 4-2 during that series, exactly what you need. You play West Michigan again, got to get some payback, and you split 3-3. July 8th through the 13th this past week. So a lot of momentum going. Guys are really starting to find their groove. And, that's another team they're going to acquire a bunch of Lynchburg's guys. It's already starting to happen, like we said.
Yeah, when you take a look at some of the bats here, Wilfredo Antunez did get the call. Well, again, we'll talk about that later. Over the past month, though, the bats at Lake County have simply been fantastic. Some quick math here. I'm going to do some math, actually. So brief pause. 13, 17, 21, 26, 30, 33 home runs for this team over the past month. So 33 home runs in, 20 some odd games? That's ridiculous. Yeah. That is very, very good. Led by Wilfredo Antunez. He got the call deservedly. So 952 OPS over the past month, but it just keeps getting better from there. Jose Devers, a 989 OPS. Jacob Cozart, who has more walks than strikeouts, slugged 4 home runs. He's really found it. 950 OPS. Ralphie Velasquez is starting to get that batting average turned around over the past month of 275 with an 839 OPS. Alfonso Rosario, 934 with a 934 OPS with a 283 average. He slugged 3 homers. You have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 guys that have double-digit RBIs over the past month. It is a complete 180 from Lynchburg, at least on the hitting side. And the pitching, well, you could also say it's been kind of a complete 180 from Lynchburg, because while there have been some good moments, it has not been that stout over the last 30 days. Again, there have been a lot of good moments, but overall, you take a look at guys that are starting, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 out of the 6 starters that have started a game in the past month have been touched up for 10 or more earned runs, which is not great, including one name out of the bullpen in Jack Josiah, who has really struggled over the past month in allowing runs. His whip is over 2. Any whip at around 1.25, you start to get concerned. A whip of 2 is red alarm bells ringing off in your head. And the batting averages against opponents just does not look great for a lot of this team. Jay Driver has been an outlier to that. Yorman Gomez has been an outlier to that. But for the most part, pretty much a complete flip from Lynchburg. The bats are hot. The pitching is not.
Yeah, like you said, I mean, when it seems pretty much like not even week to week, just game to game, one is hot or one is not for this Lake County team. And that's kind of why they've always seemed to float around that 500. And like we've talked to Logan Petoskey, a lot of these guys, they really struggle or they're really on as a team. And I think that starts from the pitching staff into the bullpen on the pitching side, and same 1 to 9. I mean, in the box. Now the hitting has definitely been way better for Lake County, throughout the entirety of the season, than the pitching staff. But yeah, it's about that time where you really need to start getting some of these guys going on the pitching side, especially. I mean, Tugboat, he's really got to show what we saw last year. I mean, he's really got to get things going too. Jackson Humphreys, a guy who I mean, we've seen flashes from, but again, very inconsistent at times. So I think that's kind of just been the theme of this Lake County team, is inconsistency. And if they can just get things rolling, especially with a lot of these younger guys coming up that could help, especially, a young flash like Tommy Hawk, Sean Matson out of a bullpen who just lost a lot to Akron. I mean, Steven Perez, just guys like that who've got the call. So they need some bullpen help too. A lot of young guys that are going to be down there. So just got to catch fire.
Yeah, and speaking of Tommy Hawk, Taven, I'm really shocked that he hasn't played more than he has. He's only played 4 games in a captain uniform. He's 5 of 18, which is a 278 batting average. He only has 2 steals. His walk to strikeout ratio is 4 to run. He's produced pretty much nothing other than 3 runs, no extra base hits, which is not surprising, but no RBIs, which again, not necessarily surprising, but I don't think they're playing Tommy Hawk enough to get the full value out of him. He's a guy that he's got to see the field pretty much every day. And I understand trying to work him into the system, trying to get him used to high A pitching, all of that, great. I think you got to see him play more. Yet that's probably my one gripe offensively with Lake County, even though a lot offensively is working. And as the old saying goes, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. You need to see Tommy Hawk more to get the value out of him, because in games where you are 11-9 or you are 9-7 or even 15-13, Tommy Hawk can provide that extra run or two just with his base running. You need to play him more to get the full value out of him.
Yeah, I agree 1,000%. Only reason I think Omir Santos, hasn't maybe played him as much is because you got to remember when he first got there, had a little bit of, the injury bug. I mean, I think that's probably the main reason they're trying to work him in a little slowly. You don't want to rush the guy who's obviously been providing nonstop offense for you. in the box and on the base pass. So I think that's a little bit of it. But yeah, I mean, this guy's got to be an everyday player. He has to at least play 5 out of 6 games every single series, it seems like. Not just for your team to have a chance, but just for the development of Tommy Hawk as well. Again, I think 100 stolen bases is definitely still in the realm of possibility for Tommy Hawk. It's just going to be exciting to see if, he's able to get to it.
Right. And very good point about the injury bug too. I had forgotten about that. So thank you for bringing that up. Let's move to Akron. What have they done?
Yeah. Akron, a team, they're doing solid and then, coming crashing down a little bit with that last series. So Akron 8-10, they're in 4th place. In the Eastern League Southwest Division. Altoona were on absolute fire. I want to say they were 9-1 at one point. They've came back down to life. They're 11-7. Richmond's 11-7. Erie's 9-8, and the Ducks are 3 games back of first, 1.5 games back of Erie, who clinched the first half. So they technically don't matter in the standings for the rest of the season until the playoffs. At 8-10. That puts them in 4th place, technically 3rd if we're getting rid of Erie because they essentially don't matter with winning the first half. That's how minor league baseball works. But June 24th through the 29th against Harrisburg, they go 4-2 out of 6. Then July 1st through Erie, they take the first 3 in Erie over the 4th of July weekend series, or I should say week series. And then they dropped the last 3 at home. So Erie again strikes back. We'll never, sort of get to them. Yeah. And then this past series was at one of the games on Saturday. They lost, ended up losing that one 5-3. But July 8th through the 13th against, a Richmond team that they don't necessarily have a ton of names, but they're playing really good baseball. Ducks were only able to pull out 1 of 6. So.
Yeah, this is the team that's got to be able to find its groove and get rolling. And with Travis Bazzana now fully getting into the Arizona Complex League and being able to see live at-bats, he still doesn't look quite himself, but getting him back in Akron is already going to be a big lift. Ducks have looked like this. Jorge Burgos. I don't feel like we've given him enough love on the pod.
No,
he has done spectacular things over the past month. 21 of 89, that's 236 average, has a 782 on base percentage, 4 home runs and 20 RBIs with a pretty decent walk to strikeout ratio for a guy of his power there as well. Khalil Watson, look at him starting to figure things out. 273 average, 915 OPS over the past month, 4 homers matching Burgos with half of the RBIs. But hey, you got 2 triples and you're producing really well for Khalil Watson. Strikeout still a problem for him. Cameron Barstad has done well. Cooper Engel is lighting things up with a 308 batting average over the past month. And the walk to strikeout ratio is superb. Guy Lipscomb is figuring out on how Yanau's driven in 12 runs with a homer and a 271 batting average over the past month. So the bats overall, there are some names that I definitely could throw out there. Jake Fox, let's see him turn it around in the right direction. Only 3 of 46 over the past month for him. Jonah Advincula has not quite found his groove at the AA level, but I'm sure he will. And you did just lose Joe Lampe going up to Columbus. Recap that more in a moment. Pitching staff-wise, again, some good, some bad, a mixed bag of performances. Dylan DeLucia has seen some good things. He's seen some not so good things. Overall, the stat line just kind of meh. Same thing with Trenton Denholm, although both walk to strikeout ratios look superb for both of those guys. I'll tell you one guy who has really struggled, though, is Tommy Mace. He has not looked good over this past month. And take this, right? 23 walks to only 13 strikeouts. No one else in the Akron pitching staff even has double-digit walks over the past month, and Tommy Mace has 23. Command control really starting to slip away from Tommy, but we know he's a guy that can go get that back. A lot of guys in the bullpen, you're seeing some mixed results. Zane Morehouse has been okay. Jack Leftwich has actually been pretty solid. Tyler Thornton has been, for the most part, pretty solid, but overall been, pretty okay. And just overall, when you look at this Akron team as a whole, it's about finding that groove. You're seeing a lot of good things at times, but it's not playing out over a full 9 innings. And if it is, then you go through a couple games where you just don't play good baseball at all. Like you hammered home, Taven, it's about finding that consistency with this team. I think getting Bazzana back is going to help. Some of these promotions that we're going to talk about in a minute might be able to help that out as well.
Yeah. My biggest thing with Akron is I mean, it might be a little crazy to say. I don't think it is. I mean, they just lost a ton of their talent. I mean, you look at the lineup from where it was at the beginning of
Yeah,
the year to where it
especially
is
that
now,
pitching staff.
and
Holy moly.
that's not a knock to the guys that are there now, but the guys who were there at the beginning of the season were on absolute fire. I mean, you lost Kafis, you lost Bazana due to an injury. Pitching staff, don't even get me started. I mean, Peterson, Davenport, those guys alone are, I mean, a 1 and 2 on any other.
Yeah.
It seems like double A ball clubs. So the only guy that you really have that was there from the start that's been consistently good is Cooper Ringle, which let me tell you, absolutely unreal
he's
what this guy's been doing.
unbelievable.
285, 9 homers, 42 RBIs. I mean, at some point you're gonna have to move this guy up to AAA. I would have done it probably a couple weeks ago. I think it's coming at any time, and it's gonna be another big blow to Akron. But yeah, it's just consistency. The pitching staff really has to get better. I think that's where things kind of start with this. Tommy Mace, a guy who's on his 4th year with the club now. He's got to figure it out. And I'm rooting for the guy. I like Tommy Mace, and
Absolutely.
I mean we've seen him put together beautiful games, and we know what he's capable of. But he seems to struggle from time to time too. Guys like I'd have to check who even picked because they've been bitten by the injury bug too. I know.
Right. Pitching staff, but bullpen especially. Alaska Abney, I don't think has pitched all year.
He hasn't been back. I know Troy Benton's out for the entire year. So, a lot of injuries going on. Tyler Thornton, guy who recently just got back too. I know Maltrud and Sean, last name's
Zeffner. Does that sound?
No.
Oh, Sean Rapp.
Sean Rapp. I know those guys are battling injuries too. So
yeah.
Again, a lot of injuries, and then guys coming up from Lake County. I mean, when I was there, I watched Adam Tulloch pitch. He looked solid. He got yanked pretty early. I think he gave up 2 runs and got yanked in the 3rd. All right, game, not terrible. But yeah, guys just have to figure it out, and especially the bullpen a little bit. They've been a little inconsistent too. I mean, Jake Miller, he got rocked for a home run and 2 doubles too out of the pen. So just consistency again. I would say the same thing as Lake County.
To really hammer the point home on Akron about finding consistency, bats, again, they've shown some good things. We need everybody to be performing at the level that they can. Here's the thing with the pitching staff. As far as WHIP goes, which is hitting independent pitching, basically shows what a pitcher can control. There is only 1 WHIP that is below 1 on this Akron pitching staff over the past month. So if that shows you how much they've been struggling, I don't know what does. Columbus, let's go to the Clip Show. What are they doing?
Clip Show are our best affiliate at the moment. They are in 3rd place outright at a record of 9-9, so 500, June 24th through the 29th against Iowa. They take 4 of 2 against the Cubs. Then July 1st through the 6th against Toledo. Got that 4th of July series, and they fall, only taking 2 out of 6. But
yes,
then again on July 8th through the 13th against the Louisville Bats and our old buddy Lenny Torres, they earn the split. So not bad.
Okay. Yeah, not too bad at all. You want to talk about some bats? Sure, let's talk about them. Specifically, let's talk about the big 3 that are not guys that have seen Major League time yet. Milan Tolentino, 7 home runs, 20 RBIs, a 277 batting average with a 961 OPS. I mean, Taven, just like Sir Petoskey was talking about, this power that he's developed, I love it. I love every bit of it. I don't think he's going to see Major League time this year, even with how well he is progressing. Possibly next season, depending on what happens. I would watch out for Milan Tolentino. CJ Kafis doing CJ Kafis things. The batting average has taken a little bit of a dip. The strikeouts have taken an uptick, but 5 home runs and 19 RBIs with an 817 OPS. Not too shabby there for Mr. Kafis, a guy we all like a lot. Chase DeLauder, 4 home runs, 16 RBIs. Walk to strikeout ratios looked good over the past month. 284 average with an 884 OPS. Only downside with DeLauder is, he's hurt again. What else is new? He took a ball, I think, off the elbow or the forearm, and they don't think it's going to end up being too serious. So DeLauder probably is going to end up being back. And honestly, Taven, I would probably equate DeLauder's injury history with just some bad luck. I mean, you get plunked and it hits you in a spot to where you might be out for a little bit. They're keeping him out as a precaution right now. until we know more. That's all that we can say about that. Petey Halpin, 4 home runs, only 6 RBIs, but hey, you've jacked 4 over the fence. Strikeouts an issue for him, definitely, but 227 average, 750 OPS, not bad at a Petey. Big Christmas, 4 homers with 15 RBIs and the 250 average, 832 OPS over the past month. And then you get on from there and it gets pretty spotty. Juan Brito, I believe, is rehabbing again.
Yep.
Cody Huff, again, a mixed bag out of Mr. Huff behind the dish. Yordis Valdez, he's even started to suffer with the glove this season, so that has been a big downfall. Christian Cairo honestly has not been that bad. 276 average, 779 OPS. He's actually been pretty darn good. We just want him to be driving home more runs, but he's scoring a lot of them. One of only 5 club members over the past month to have double-digit runs. Dom Nunez has not been bad. Will Wilson, again, has been up and down, but during the past 30 days when he's been at the AAA level, not too bad out of Mr. Wilson. As far as the pitching staff goes, you're seeing a lot of good numbers across the board, but those good numbers are often coupled with bad numbers. Vince Velasquez actually has been playing pretty well, pitching real well. Besides from the batting average against opposing hitters and the whip, strikeouts look good. He's not allowing many runs. He's allowed 20 hits in 20 and a third, but he's only given up 5 runs, so he's saving himself from a lot of bad games. Austin Peterson has started to struggle. Aaron Davenport overall has started to struggle. Doug Nikhazy struggled. Parker Messick struggled. Will Dion struggled. Joey Cantillo, when he's been there, struggled. Even guys out of the pen, Franco Alamon, oh boy, he has just been dreadful over the past 8 outings that he's been out there. And I mean, there are some good performances. Like, you got to give credit where credit is due to Luis Frias and some of these other guys that are now making rehab appearances and guys that have been sent down. But yeah, I kind of feel like we can say the same thing about all of the affiliates right now. It's kind of like they're starting a new season in the second half here. They got to find what works and find that consistency moving forward.
Yeah, I think Columbus put themselves in a solid spot. I mean, 3-3.
Can't argue with third place at 500. That's you didn't really do much to give yourself that spot, but you need to benefit from it now.
But I mean, I think the way that the big league club has been playing, their history with moves, I don't see them bringing up a ton of these guys. So I think Columbus is going to have basically the same team. I don't think Kafis gets a call this year, so he'll be down there helping them out.
As long as DeLauder keeps Messick. Yeah, well, and as long as DeLauder keeps getting hurt, and not seeing consistent playing time, as much as fans may want him to be brought up, the other wrinkle in Chase DeLauder is, yes, he's not on the 40-man, and yes, there might not be some room from him, but he also cannot see consistent playing time, which hurts his chances to being called up. And it's exactly what Chris Antonetti talked about, and people are like, I don't buy that. That's such BS. You're seeing it play out right now. Like, he's hurt again. So
yeah, for sure.
I don't really know what to tell the fans.
If you ask me, I think the next guy up is Petey Halpin, arguably. I mean, he's a young guy who's on the 40-man, and you got to test him out at some time, because at the end of the day, he's taking up a spot on the 40-man roster. And, DeLauder's going to be healthy eventually. I mean, it's just going to happen, and he's going to need room on there. So you got to start testing guys out. But again, I think this Columbus team's pretty much going to have the same squad, and I think we could see a repeat of last year. They stand last year in the first half. Second half, they bounce back, and they're in a playoff spot. So hopefully that's the case.
And then what are your thoughts on DeLauder there? I mean, first of all, this all happened when we were off, by the way. Yeah. The whole Chris Antonetti thing of saying, we're going to make sure he sees consistent playing time, and, we're going to get his bats up and everything. I know a lot of fans had an issue with it. I completely saw where he was coming from, and you're seeing it play out right now. He can't see consistent time, whether or not it's his fault or not. The reality of the situation is you haven't seen much consistency out of Chase DeLauder.
Exactly. And then you can't bring a guy up who he's just not healthy. You need to get the at-bats. It's everything involved. That's a big reason why we haven't seen George Valera make his pro debut yet. I mean, those two guys, they kind of go hand in hand, it seems like. They're always hurt.
Same thing with Brito.
Right. It just sucks to see. I mean, your main guy, we'll get to it later. One of our other, big prospects, maybe on the injured list as well. But yeah, he's just got to find a way to stay healthy, and that's it. I mean, it's pretty simple if you ask me. It's just health. I mean, there's not much that goes into it on why he's not up. I mean, the dude played, I want to say 30 games at Akron last year, maybe.
Probably around there. You might actually be pretty close with that number.
Maybe 50. I think the actual number was like 34, and then maybe like 50 with Columbus. So I know he played like half or maybe less than half of the season last year. This year it hasn't been much better. So we'll see.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, let's talk about some moves. With the draft today, there have been some cuts, but we're going to do those last. A week ago, Joe Lampe got brought up to Columbus, like that move for the Clippers. Joe Lampe has shown good progression, and he's been with the organization for a while. Time to give him a shot at the AAA level. Today, Yorman Gomez and Wilfredo Antunes announced they will be joining AA Akron. So you get a bullpen arm and a good bat a good power bat, mind you, to hopefully give the Ducks a boost as they try to clinch a playoff spot in the second half. Sean Matson and Nick Mitchell have gotten that call to the next level from Lynchburg up to Lake County. So we like that for both of those guys. Obviously, talking to Sean Matson, really talented piece. He's been stellar this year. And Nick Mitchell, ever since coming back, has proved that he's worthy of playing higher level baseball. Those guys will join former Hillcat Tommy Hawk in Lake County. Probably the best move that we have seen, and not in terms of how much it's going to improve team, but Tyler Naquin is up to Lake County pitching. He has a fastball, he has a cutter, and a changeup. Those are, I think, the three pitches, and he's sitting with some good velo on those pitches. In his debut, got a strikeout. What more can he ask for? Here's my thing with Tyler Naquin before you say your thoughts. I really hope that he can get up to Cleveland fast just so we can see him pitch one game. Even if, and I could very much so see a situation like this happen, if he goes and tells the organization, if he doesn't progress up to the big league level as fast as he would want to, and he goes and tells Chris Antonetti, like, hey, I'm going to retire, sorry about it. He's going to be like, oh, okay. And he brings him up to Cleveland for one game as like a last hurrah. And he, throws two pitches. I'd be fine with that. And I can see it happen.
See, my only thing with that, obviously I'd love it. Naquin's probably my top, like he's in my top 10 favorite Cleveland players of all time. Absolutely. Love the dude. I mean, he's signed autographs for me probably countless of times. Like 2018, 17, just going up. But then again, you have to option somebody down. So are they really going to waste an option or possibly DFA somebody just to get one last kind of hurrah? Obviously, I'd love to see it.
I want it. I'm hopeful it can happen.
I think he'll stick around in the minors, though. Don't count it out. I think he's got 2 years of minor league baseball. Definitely.
I agree with you. Again, that was my opinion, is that he's going to stick in the minors for quite a bit while he figures out this role as a pitcher and what he wants to take on. I'm just telling you, if it happens where he comes to the front office and says, hey, I'm going to retire, please put him in Cleveland for one game.
Oh, yeah.
One game. That's all I'm asking. I don't think it's going to happen for a couple years, but he is, 36, 37, something like that? He's older.
I want to say 34 might be right. Let me look it up real
So younger
quick.
than I think.
Yep, 34 exact. Look at that.
Okay. Wow, look at you go. Look at you go. I will applaud you. There, unfortunately, nature of the business, were some cuts today. One guy we talked to on the pod, Austin Aldeano. Austin, if you're watching, even if you're not, we might send you a DM later. But thank you for everything you've done for the organization, and we wish you best of luck, especially as the guy we've talked to personally. We really like him. Hopefully he works out somewhere else. It just so happens it's not going to be Cleveland. Nature of the business. Hope someone else picks him up. But there were two other cuts who were. Taven?
I got it right here. Hold up. Beauty screenshots. He has
it right here, but he had to pull it up.
Luna and Carlos Gutierrez, a guy who we
both Lynchburg guys.
Yep, and another one who was totally out of left field, Mike Capriz. Can we talk about that real quick?
You can. I won't.
While I was on vacation, Mike Capriz gets, I think it was on vacation. I don't know. It was sometime when we were gone. Mike Capriz gets released.
I think you were just getting ready to get on the flight to Myrtle Beach.
Yeah, don't get that one at all. I mean, I know the guy hasn't, had the best average this year, but are you kidding? I mean, I'm trying to pull up his year stats this year real quick.
Well, while you're doing that, to be fair to Micah Pries,
all right, he didn't have the best average, but
to be fair to Micah Pries, and to echo your point, he was starting to find some of that rhythm right before, or I say right before they decided to cut him.
The day before.
Yeah, he literally hit a home run the day before, and they said, "Yeah, still not good enough." I don't know what.
All right, so Micah Pries, who was battling injury, I don't think he played until it was late April, maybe May. Hit 139 this year, so not the best. 4 homers in 101 at bats. So the average obviously was not there, but I mean, years past, the dude's been pretty consistent. I mean, 296, 266, 235, and 230. Those are solid numbers, and the guy has power. He can play wherever you want. Obviously, there wasn't room at the big league club. You had to give guys like Kafis and whatnot a shot. But I don't know. I think he was better than definitely a couple other guys that they were keeping around on the roster.
Welcome to Prospects of the Land, where Taven McCauley defends baseball players with under 200 batting averages.
Aren't you like Hedges though? So
I like him defensively. I have told him he stinks offensively. I've said that on podcast. He is worthless on offense.
Nolan Jones and Noel, they were hitting under 200. Noel still is. So.
I have said Noel is viable if you play him every day.
But if you play him every day, he could still be hitting 200.
We'll never know because they don't do it. We need to dive on into the draft because you need to go watch the Home Run Derby. So, Taven, I think you have all of the graphics pulled up there, as I think the draft has come to an end. So,
hopefully,
with the 27th, I want to say 27th overall pick, the Cleveland Guardians select bam!
Jace.
And I got to tell you what,
Laviolette, close.
There you go. And Taven, I got to tell you, I love it. I absolutely love it. Now, there are some other Guardians content creators that are saying they don't love it. And I will tell you why they don't love it. It is because of his strikeout ratio. Over the course of 3 seasons, in 188 games at Texas A&M, he has struck out 222 times. I think I read somewhere his strikeout ratio was 25%. And the reason that Guardians content creators don't like that is there has not been a scenario across any draft ever, supposedly, where a guy with his numbers, but his strikeout ratio has worked out at the major league level. However, this dude is a gamer. This past year in the SEC tournament, he had to get surgery on his arm. Pretty brutal injury. He came back and played the next day after getting surgery. Now, it's unfortunate that he's going to be getting surgery again, which I think, Jace Laviolette's not going to convince the big league club that he deserves to play. That's not going to happen. So we probably will see him hit the IL, and who knows if he sees minor league time this year? Probably not. But moving forward, Taven, with the strikeout ratio, he actually did improve it last year. He saw a career low strikeouts with 66, still a lot, but he also draws a ton of walks. 57 walks drawn in 56 games with the Texas A&M Aggies last year. That is 262 plate appearances and 198 at-bats, 51 hits for a batting average of 258, had an OPS over 1,000, 61 RBIs, and 18 home runs. You go back to 2024, where he was one of the best players in the country, injury-free, in 334 plate appearances in 68 games, helping lead Texas A&M to a College World Series final appearance, 305 batting average with a 1.175 OPS and a 7.26 slugging, 81 strikeouts, but again, still drew a ton of walks, 64 of them. Not a guy that's going to steal a lot of bases, but 29 homers, 78 ribbies with 19 extra base hits outside of the homers. He's not too bad of a fielder too in the outfield. Taven, I think he can work on the strikeout ratio. And if you get a guy that strikes out a lot, he better draw a lot of walks, which is exactly what he does. I think the strikeout ratio is going to be overinflated a little bit based on what else this guy can do. Yep. I absolutely love the move.
100%. I mean, watching the draft, I mean, I heard guys talk like, hey, this guy might have been the first overall pick if, everything went according to plan. I heard
if he was healthy.
One of the analysis said something like, so I'm like, all right, obviously you got to take a chance on this kid. And he looks great. I mean, like you said, almost, 30 home runs he had. I mean, the dude, he seems solid in the field, center fielder. One thing though, that he does remind me of just looking at him, guy we have 6'3", 235. He is 6'5", 230. Does that ring a bell? Chase DeLauter.
Yeah.
Another first-round draft pick. Around the same pick that we took Mr.
I think DeLauter went, 26? 25?
I want to say that's right. I am going to back check that real quick. Draft.
I'm trying to think.
Chase DeLauter was 16th, so about 10.
Oh, wow.
About 10 picks away.
Wow.
So not bad. I like this guy, though. He seems like he has a ton of power. Going into the draft, wanted an outfielder, a pitcher, bottom line. And I wanted a guy out of college, too. I didn't want a guy out of high school. And that's not a knock to any high school guys. But I want a guy that's going to get up, have a better shot of getting to the major leagues soon, if that makes sense. Because you still have guys like Jose, guys like Quan. So you need guys that are going to get up there to help this team out. DeLauter's been hurt, guys like that. So maybe this guy stays healthy, gets off to a quick start. Obviously, he has that college experience. And if he was healthy, I could see him possibly, I think you would agree, probably Lake County and late August, September. I would say they probably start him out in Lake County, and he'd finish the season there. Obviously, he's going to have surgery, so that's not probably going to happen. But Lake County, I would say for sure next year to start the year, possibly Akron if they like what they're seeing out of spring training.
I think this is the guy with a lot of high upside. Again, he reminds you a little bit of Chase DeLauter. That might not be the exact comparison, but this dude is an absolute fireball. He loves the game of baseball, will do anything he can to get on the field. And Taven, you can take the graphic away. I just want to come here. Not you, dear. They drafted for need. Finally. They drafted based off of a position they need. So for all the Guardians fans out there complaining, they did what you asked. They drafted for need. They got an outfielder, and I think he could prove to be an absolute home run. With the second round pick, the Guardians do pick up, actually, a compensation pick, a competitive balance pick, if you will.
These are all out of
order. We'll get to him later.
Dean Curley.
There you go. Round 2. Dean Curley out of Tennessee. First of all, what a name. Let us dive on in to Mr. Dean Curley.
That's not even the best name we got.
No, it is not. And we'll start running through these names a little bit quicker now. Recorded 2 seasons with the University of Tennessee. I will read his career slash line across 132 games and 462 at-bats, 562 plate appearances. 139 hits. That's a batting average of 301. And let's finish out his slash line like this. 412 on base percentage, 517 slugging, 929 OPS, and had 239 total bags during his time with the Volunteers. Over his career on Rocky Top, 26 homers and 101 RBIs with 17 stolen bases. Not bad. Walk to strikeout ratio, 94 strikeouts and 76 walks. So a pretty solid ratio there in that one. He is an infielder. So for me, just telling the people they drafted for need. Yes, they also drafted another middle infielder. I know. He plays shortstop. I know. Infuriating. I know. But this is a guy that I think can also have some pretty high upside. And when you take a look at his numbers, super promising stuff. Excellent value as a second-round pick, a primary shortstop, probably what he's going to turn into at the major league level. Very athletic kid. I like him a lot.
Yeah, not bad. Obviously, middle infield, you got a lot of them. That's no discredit to Dean, obviously. I think he's a very good player. Obviously, Tennessee, got to love the pick there. Round 2 pick, obviously very talented. would I have gone middle infield here? Probably not. Just personally, I probably would have went starting pitching just because you can never have enough, and that's just personally me. Maybe another outfielder, just double down. But obviously, a guy who played at Tennessee, another college guy, so obviously got to love that. He's got some experience under his belt for sure, especially at one of the highest levels and one of the best baseball schools, if not the best baseball school, probably in the last 10 years, Tennessee. So like the pick.
Ooh.
Position could have switched up a little bit, but
Ooh. Yeah, I mean, don't get me wrong. I do like the pick. I like the kid. I think he's going to be a very solid player. But 1, 2, 3 picks above Dean Curley and 1 pick below Dean Curley were pitchers. And the guy that went just after Mr. Curley was Cam Leiter out of Florida State, a guy that I like a ton. Of course, he goes to the Los Angeles Dodgers. Not me dissing on Dean Curley. I think he's going to be a really good player, and I think he can sort out once he builds through the minor league level here. But to your point, Taven, you wanted to go pitcher. There's a guy right there in Cam Leiter. They did have a competitive balance pick just 2 picks later at 66. And it was that man right there. You double down on the outfield, like you said, and you get Aaron Walton out of Arizona. Again, Taven, another guy I like. He was one of the big factors that helped lead this Wildcat team to a College World Series appearance, where during, let me see, he had 2 years at Samford, but had his best season with the Wildcats last year in 65 games, had 14 home runs, 49 RBIs on 81 hits, a 320 batting average, OPS at 1.026, slugging right around 600. As far as a career goes, in 215 games, this is including summer ball as well. He has a career batting average of 302 with an OPS of 935. Has 32 home runs, almost 150 RBIs, and 65 stolen bases. Pretty good numbers there from Aaron Walton. You double down on the outfield, and I like the move. Not as much as Laviolette, obviously, because I do like Laviolette a lot better, but I like the move. I think he's a good player and a good kid.
Yeah, for sure. Look at him. Seems like a real good player. Obviously, another college guy. Gotta love that. So these guys are getting close. Another guy you could probably throw in Lake County just for the experience factor. Now, obviously, not every college guy they get is going to go to Lake County. We've seen that last year. Sean Matson, example, Hartford guy, starts out at Lynchburg. So, I mean, that's just how it goes. Obviously, this guy could too. But, I mean, essentially he had 3 picks in, first 2 rounds. So, gotta love that. Have 2 second rounders who can really do some damage. So.
You move on to the next one, and we're going to breeze through this competitive balance pick here pretty quickly because Taven, he is a high school prospect out of the great nation of Canada and the great province of Ontario. He is committed to go play baseball at Wake Forest. I think he's going to go take that option rather than spend time in the Arizona complex for a couple of years. Does have fastball, slider, changeup, overall control, pretty darn solid. This is a pretty darn good high school pitcher. He's 6'2" and turned 18 just days before the draft. 94 to 95 mile an hour with his fastball, a slider, 2,700 RPM. That's some pretty serious spin. He has pitched in Arizona before against the Giants, and ironically enough, the Guardians held his own against the Blue Jays and Yankees in Florida. Some shorter stints there. We will see if the Guardians can sign him away from Wake Forest. But Taven, to be honest with you, I don't think that's going to happen. Maybe another team will pick him up. But if the Guardians can somehow swing this guy in by trying to convince him with, hey, look at how we have developed pitchers over the past however many years. We are excellent at it. Will Hines, I think, can make a great addition to this minor league pitching rotation.
Yeah, I'd agree with you fully. We saw that with Braylon Doty last year. He was a competitive balance round A pick, I believe, if not round B. But again, I not sure where he was going to school, if it was up to the degree to obviously of Wake Forest. It very well could be if he was a competitive round A pick, obviously a little higher than Will Hines here. But I mean, we've seen it before. Obviously, if he was committed somewhere, the Guardians kind of persuaded him to come over. Doty, he's shown signs of life. Hasn't had the best season, but again, he would be going into his freshman year of college. So a very young guy who's,
Right.
just figuring things out. Wouldn't read too much into the stat lines this year, as this is kind of just, in my opinion, just a year for him to feel things out, kind of, get things going. And then next year we'll kind of see the, effects of what he does this year. But again, same thing could be true with Will Hines. Could do the same exact thing, kind of persuade him and have another guy just to develop. And it's pretty much it.
You move on to the official third round pick for is it a third round pick? I think it is.
Yes.
It is the third round pick. We're getting into the hundreds now. Nolan Schubart, welcome to the land. Here is his career with the Pokes at Oklahoma State. And Taven, get ready. Some of these numbers are pretty damn good. In 165 games, had nearly 200 hits throughout his 3 seasons at Oklahoma State, 197. His batting average on his career, 334 with a career 1.169 OPS during his time with the Oklahoma State Cowboys. 198 strikeouts to 140 walks. Same thing with Laviolette. Strikes out a lot, but yes, he does draw a ton of walks. 59 homers with nearly 200 RBIs, and a guy that played first base 4 times last year, but the Guardians doubled down on it, and now they tripled down by getting their third outfielder. Taven, all 3 guys I like. Schubart, I probably like a little bit more than the kid out of Zona, not as much as Laviolette, but I think all 3 outfielders they've picked in the first 3 rounds here are exquisite picks, especially for the value they're getting them at.
Yeah, I mean, just looking at these guys, obviously, I don't really pay attention to college baseball. You're going to be the guy that goes,
oh yeah,
I mean, way into these guys, knows a lot about them. But I mean, you just look for myself. I look at the position and kind of like where they're at, and obviously outfield, that's a need. And this guy's at Oklahoma State. They're pretty solid this year, right?
Yeah, Oklahoma State was pretty good.
Yeah, and no doubt this guy was, obviously, if he was a third round pick, almost cracked the top 100 guys taken in this draft. So obviously very talented guy. And again, another college guy. So obviously still got to develop these college guys, but not as much as the high school kids that, might be taken. So just got that. The Derby is starting, so might want to speed this up just a little bit.
Yeah, we'll go through, let's say, the first 5 rounds, and then we can flash up the rest here in quick succession. Or I guess at very least we can talk about it here. If you want to see all the draft picks and read more about them, go on to Baseball Reference. It does have their collegiate stats. That's where I'm reading everything off of. And go check out Prospects of the Land. It's at Prospects OTL on Instagram. We have every single pick on the Instagram story. But let's dive on into Luke Hill out of Ole Miss, because this is another guy I really like, an infielder that can play second and third. The Rebel, I think, will make a great guardian, ironically enough, with how the nicknames work out. Anyway, 315 average over his college career, played at Arizona State in 23, and has been a Rebel the past 2 seasons in the SEC. 315 average over 171 games at 783 plate appearances, 109 RBIs, 33 bags, 104 walks to 112 strikeouts, the best walk strikeout ratio we've seen, 865 OPS, 17 homers, and 109 ribbies. Again, a guy that can play second or third at the hot corner. Another guy I do like quite a bit. I think can make a good addition. Will probably start in the complex, but honestly, I could see him starting in Lynchburg. I think he's a guy that's pretty darn talented. A guy that was a huge part of this Rebel team over the past couple of seasons. And a guy I think that I can perform really well.
Yeah, 100%.
Round
5, I believe, would be Riley Nelson, first baseman out of Vanderbilt.
Yeah. Oh boy, let me tell you about Riley Nelson. I know Vanderbilt had a very disappointing season this year, but when you dive into Riley Nelson, we finally get some depth at the first base position out of this draft. The stats only are available for his 2025 season. I believe that's because he might have transferred in from somewhere. Yeah, he transferred in from a junior college called Yavapai College. He had a .412 batting average over there, absolutely raked, and was just outstanding first baseman, fielding percentage of .997, made just one error during his time in community college, junior college, whatever you want to say. During his time with the big time SEC Commodore, or I should say SEC team in the Vanderbilt Commodores, 60 games. Sorry, I'm reading Summer League stuff here too. 60 games, 8 homers, 47 RBIs, 344 batting average, 976 OPS with over 110 bags, not steals, that is total bases, had 7 bags, 13 doubles on 74 hits. He's a guy that's just going to get on base. He'll run the bases and score some runs while playing near Gold Glove defense at first base. He's an exceptional talent, and I like this pick a whole bunch. I loved him at Vanderbilt. Loved it.
Yeah, gotta love the Vandy boys. First baseman, obviously not a ton of them in the organization, but obviously I'll take your word for it. You're really high on this guy. So
oh yeah, I think he is great. He is probably one of the great junior college findings. Again, there are a lot of good baseball players at very low levels. This guy was one of them. Vanderbilt showcased him on the biggest stage in college baseball. Yeah. And I really, really like this pick. That is all we are going to cover on the podcast. You know what? Let's do it. Let us run through the names of the rest of the picks that we got here. Again, if you want to check them out, as far as all the names we didn't cover, go check out the Instagram story. As of right now, all of the picks are still up there. Jace Laviolette is still right there. So you can go look at all of them, give them a tag and a follow there on Instagram as well. Nolan Schubart, the only guy that we didn't let tag. Instagram did not let us. So go follow him there as well. Nelson Keljo, pitcher out of Oregon State in the 6th round. 7th round, Will McCausland, pitcher out of Ole Miss. So they're really high on their Rebels this year. Anthony Martinez, another guy at first base out of UC Irvine. Anteaters were a good program this year. That's in the 8th round. 9th round, Ryan Prager, another pitcher out of Texas A&M. Boy, are you flying through these as I'm saying them? Look at you go. 10th round pick, Harrison Bodendorf out of Oklahoma State. So they like their Rebels and their Cowboys this year. Again, picked in round 10. In the 11th picked, here we get our first backstop. You picked Bennett Thompson last year. Tyler Howard is here as well, a catcher out of the University of Portland with the 11th round pick, a guy that you're going to find some tremendous value for at the mid-major level. 12th round pick, Ryan DeSanto. Here's a Big Ten guy, lefty out of Penn State, like the Southpaw a lot. They follow it up with another Big Ten pitcher in the 13th round. Aaron Savari is over from the University of Iowa. Anthony Silva, TCU, big-time baseball school. They bring him in with the 14th round pick, an infielder that I believe plays in the middle, but I think can stretch to the outsides as well. Evan Trest is up next, the 15th round pick, a righty out of Florida State. Stacked pitching rotation there with Florida State last season. And you get another one here in Evan Trest from a community college. How about this? You want to talk about good stories? Bam, 16th round pick, Luke Fernandez. Thank you so much for, I believe, the follow, Fernie. You did follow the pod, which I'm very, very grateful for. Wallace State Community College. Don't know much about him, but I do know after some research, this guy is a flamethrower as a right-handed arm. 17th round pick. Let's go back to Rocky Top and the Volunteers. Cannon Peebles, one of the better names we bring in through the draft, and another backstop to add to this organization. 18th round pick out of Texas Tech, Zane Petty. Watch out for him. That's a guy that I think can see some tremendous upside as a prospect as well. 19th round pick. They sadly did not give him a picture. Don't know why, because he's deserving of one. A right-hander out of Miami Christian College in Florida. It is Derek Munoz. Now, Derek Munoz is a guy that, again, I do like after doing some preliminary research. We'll see what value he can provide. And then Vaughn Necker, a right-hander out of Vista Murrieta, I believe that being a high school. He has been the 20th round pick by this organization, thus concluding what the Guardians did in the draft. Baseball Reference, you can go look up on all the college guys at least. If not, MLB.com. When you go click on a prospect on the draft board, it will give you a prospect sort of lookout here. So let me fast forward through the draft process a little bit. I am going to just randomly click on Anthony Silva. Okay, there is nothing up there for him, but you can go look at his baseball reference. And again, just try your luck with the MLB draft tracker. You never know what they are going to show you and what they are going to tell you about the future of the Guardians organization. So with that all done, we got to predict the home run derby. It's going on right now. I don't know what is going on.
Has not started yet.
Okay.
Got the national anthem.
Okay, so we are getting you out of here just in the nick of time. Taven, run through the competitors here. I believe that is Byron Buxton Jr., Caminero, Jazz Chisholm. That is
Cal
Riley,
Riley, Jazz Chisholm, Matt Olson, O'Neill Cruz, James Wood, Byron Buxton, and Brent Rooker.
And your
Junior Caminero, if I didn't say him.
Yes, and your home run derby winner is Sir
James Wood.
Wow.
Yep.
You know what?
I've been high on him ever since he was a Harrisburg Senator. And I think that continues.
He is a great thing. And by the way, can we talk for a second while we're still on the draft about how much the Nationals screwed the pooch and the Angels?
Yeah.
And the Angels. Cade Anderson is right there. You're going to pair Cade Anderson with all the young talent on the bats and you get a shortstop instead. I still like the guy. I think he's a nice talent. That clearly does not exude a lot of confidence that the Nationals think CJ Abrams is going to stick around. My hopeful pick for the home run derby is Big Thumper. One of the best seasons we've ever seen out of a catcher, and it could be the best offensive season ever in Cal Raleigh. I want him to win, but I don't think it's going to happen. So give me the slugger that's been doing this for a long time. Even though this team has not had that good of a season, they'll have the winner in the home run derby. I'm going Matt Olson.
Wow. Okay.
I'm going Matt Olson.
Hometown hero.
What, by the way, before we get off, MLB home run derby betting favorites. Yes, I'm going with the hometown hero.
It is. Yes. Raleigh is first on the favorites, and I believe it is O'Neill Cruz and James Wood. I know Jazz is dead last. And everybody else kind of follows.
Matt Olson's at 7-1. Brent Rooker is 850. Byron Buxton 850. Junior Caminero 10-1, and Jazz Chisholm 12-1. So yes, you would be correct. Cal Raleigh is the favorite. O'Neill Cruz is up next. Then James Wood, hometown hero Matt Olson, Brent Rooker, Byron Buxton, Caminero, and Jazz Chisholm. The Guardians do have one all-star, or actually two all-stars. It is Jose Ramirez and Steven Kwan. Ramirez choosing not to partake due to trying to get ready for the second half of the season, which really quickly before the first home run hit over the fence. This is a team that was playing abysmal baseball during the 10-game stretch. Yep. They couldn't hit anything. Now the offense is starting to wake up. And Taven, you look at the first 4 series out of the gate of the all-star break. A's, O's, Royals, Rockies. Amazing chance for this team to build momentum. And if they can do so, it's going to be a very interesting trade deadline, to say the least. We can talk more about it next week when we get out of the all-star break. But I'm just telling you all right now. I know a lot of people were like, all right, time to sell everybody. And it still could happen. I think we could see at least one of Clase, Lane Thomas, Steven Kwan get traded away. I think Clase is probably the most viable option to do so based on what the organization is built like right now. But if this team builds momentum, this team is definitely not out of it. They have to play a lot better baseball. There's no secret about that. But they're still in this thing. And there's still a lot of baseball left to be played. And they have one of the easier schedules in the back half of the year.
Yeah, gotta love that. Obviously, that 10-game streak should have never went on that long. But like even looking back on it, if you just won 2 out of 10, then that would have only put you like 6 games under of what you were at the time. But they're waking up at the right time. Obviously, that's good. I do believe Lane Thomas and Santana get dealt at the deadline. But we could talk about that obviously.
Oh,
More next show.
Santana might be the most likely one, actually.
Yeah.
Good call. The longest home run hit this year, Taven McCauley, has been Mike Trout at 484. What's the longest one that gets hit tonight, and by whom?
I think it's O'Neal Cruz. How far? I would say 475.
I'm also going with O'Neal Cruz, and I'm going 493.
Jeez.
493. His longest home run this year, 463. So 30 more feet. We'll go 493. I don't think anyone's breaking 500. If it's going to be anybody, probably is going to be O'Neal Cruz, actually, because of that exit velocity. He is just a dynamite stick. Okay, Taven, what do the affiliates have coming up here moving forward? We got to figure out who the affiliates are playing, where they're going, what they're doing.
Throw me on the spot. So, shortened week. You only got 3 games. Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Obviously, the All-Star break. Lynchburg has Fredericksburg this week. So,
cool.
Got some time to make up some ground there.
Fredericksburg on the road.
Lake County, they are going. No, I believe they are home against. Yep, they are home against Fort Wayne, who is 500. So you're able to make up some ground there, which will be absolutely huge for that Lake County team. Akron, they're going to go on the road for 3 against first place, Altoona Curve.
Ooh, big series.
Yeah, really need to get that. And Columbus will go on the road against a team who is about 500 on the year in the Iowa Cubs. Played them a couple weeks ago. And yeah. So.
Iowa could also be selling off Owen Cassie. They drafted a lot of outfielders, did the Cubs, at that deadline. So they could be selling off their top prospect in Owen Cassie. Something to watch out for there as well. Final thing to close this out, Luis Ortiz. Oh no. Can't believe we've gone this long without talking about it. But if he did it, I hope he gets fined or cut or something. Because, and by the way, there's no way he didn't do it. There's not a chance. Don't worry about your light. We're almost done.
Light's done.
There's no chance he didn't do it. Do you agree with that? I just think there's no chance he didn't do it.
I'm going to go with, I think he 100% did. If that's the case, I do believe, he should probably get banned from the MLB for at least 5 years, probably the rest of his career. Let's be honest here.
Here's my thing with the lifetime ban, though, before you continue. Yep. To enter my point about that, you did not even see lifetime or even lengthy suspensions with the Astros cheating scandal. And to me, that's a little bit bigger than gambling on baseball. I know to baseball it's not, but to me it is. So we'll see what punishment gets dealt out.
A little bit, but if you're betting on yourself to suck, that could tank a team, especially a starting pitcher. You're tanking every single game that you pitch if you were to bet every single game.
What drove it home for me was when he cursed himself out after striking a dude out. Yeah, you don't do that unless something fishy is going on.
I mean, for our sake, I do hope that this is true because let's be honest, Ortiz wasn't the best, and now even if he was betting a pitch here and there, but actually trying, now he has the alibi to say, "Oh, I sucked this season because I made myself suck and I made a lot of money off of it." So
yeah. I was going to come in and say he's actually been solid when he's striking a lot of guys out. He performs pretty well, usually gives up a run or two, but really was not horrible. I did overall like the trade, but you can't argue with the alibi. What are you going to do when you're like, I was betting against myself to suck? Watch what happens when I bet myself to be good. I don't know if you can argue with that.
Interesting. My boy's leading off too, James Wood.
Okay, well, you go watch your boy James Wood, and the number today was
good old 35. So not bad for the first show back.
We expected it.
Yep, we
expected it.
Not in advance.
We are going to let all of the newbies to the organization get settled in, grab their gear, grab their stuff. and head on out to the complex, and we will try to snag them at an earliest available time, kind of like we were able to do with our boy Isaac Martinez last year. So we will try to get prospects in as soon as possible. It's a very busy time for baseball. Enjoy the home run derby and what of the All-Star game? NL get it again?
I got AL. American League.
Well, of course you do. You always root for the AL. You have to.
Yep.
You have to. I do too. Hopefully they can win it. Is it the NL that's been on that long streak? Is it the NL that, yeah.
So I believe it was like AL for like 14 years and then they snapped it maybe recently. I don't know.
Before we leave, I'm going to look because it's going to bother me. The American League does lead it. They lead it overall. 48, 44, and 2. And by the way, it is the American League that's been on that long stretch. National League broke it a couple years ago, and the American League got them back this year. So AL superiority for life.
There it is.
The NL did have a long run way back. Actually, they had 2 or 3 long runs way back in the day where the AL couldn't win anything. But the AL has since turned it around, and yeah, they now lead the overall series. So
there it is.
Good stuff. All right, Taven, where can they find you?
At McKelly Media, at Stark Sports Coverage. You got high school sports starting up, about a month, which is crazy, but it's
5 weeks until high school football.
That's exciting. The school part that follows is not, but
well. Yeah.
But
your last year. You can suck it up.
Football coming up. College too. Got 5 weeks.
Yes.
All right, Nate, where can they find you?
Football back into my life. At Tailgate829, Twitter, Instagram, Snapchat. If you add me, I'll add you back. That's how that works. Even email me, tailgate829@gmail.com. And you can find the pod, Twitter, Instagram, at ProspectsOTL. And on YouTube, just search Prospects of the Land, probably how some of you are watching this stream right now. We thank you all for supporting the pod in whatever way you may be doing so. We will try to get some more content out there. Again, things have gotten really busy and such, so we will be trying to get some more content out as far as recaps and stories and whatnot. And if you have any ideas, DM us. Let us know what we can do. We are open for suggestions. We are an open door business, and we want to please the people. So send it away.
All right. Well, we appreciate every single one of you 35 sticking with us today, and we should be back next Monday at around 7. We'll see everybody then.